What is productive flow and why is it useful in both work and life? In today's video, I'm going to share with you my favorite productivity tips to help you stay happy, healthy, and get all the things done that you need to without burning yourself out. So stick around. Hey there friends, and welcome back to Simple Essentials. If you're new here, my name is Emmy and I'm so excited you found your way here. In this channel, we talk all about things that help you simplify your life in as many ways as possible. And today we're going to talk about productivity. Now, productivity is an interesting topic and you can Google it or you can look here on YouTube and you'll find endless amounts of tips for productivity. And I wanted to share, I guess, a slightly different way that I think about it, which is productive flow. Productivity for the sake of being busy or ticking off as many things as possible off our list is not always helpful. So in today's video, I wanted to share with you my very simple, very simple principles that I use all the time, both in my work and my life, to help achieve the nice productive flow and getting things done, but not at the expense of getting stressed or my health or my well-being. So let's dive in. The very first thing, which is possibly a bit philosophical for some, but it is to have really healthy boundaries, stop multitasking, and turn off notifications. It's really difficult in the world we live in today. We often have several responsibilities and your work might require you to be on call. But let's put all that aside for a moment and remember that multitasking, generally speaking, isn't very healthy or helpful. Many studies have shown that multitasking actually distracts us a lot more and makes it take a longer time to get the task done. Yes, when it comes to multitasking at the odd time, you might want to fold laundry and have a good phone chat to one of your friends at the same time. So I believe that there are some tiny exceptions to the rule where multitasking can work okay. But more often than not, multitasking is not useful. So a great way to make sure that you are focusing on the thing that you said you were going to do or that you want to do is to turn off notifications for other things. Unless you are expecting a really important phone call, put your phone on silent, put it away, turn off your email notifications, and focus on that one thing that you're actually meant to be doing with this particular time. For me, turning off notifications and stopping the multitasking is to have healthy boundaries about what's realistic to achieve. And don't get me wrong, I'm only human. Of course I'm tempted when I hear if I have forgotten to turn my phone on silent and I hear a message or someone trying to ring me, of course I want to check what that is. But having healthy boundaries is really, really helpful because, if it takes 5 minutes longer for you to call that person back, it is not a big deal. So have healthy boundaries around your time and your space to help you get more flow. All right, so with that principle in place, I want to share some things that I do every single day that really, really helps the creative flow or the productive flow in my life. And the very first thing is to plan the next day the night before. So how I do that is usually I work for myself. I'm a career coach and job interview coach, and I help people make a career plan or find that perfect job for them. So I work for myself and I have to be really organized with my time to keep myself motivated and make sure that things are happening in the business because I'm the main person in my business making things happen. So how do I do that? Well, the night before I log off my emails on my computer, I will open up Trello. Trello is a great tool that I use. It's completely free. I'm not affiliated in any way, and I've been using it for years, both for business and for my personal life. But what I do in Trello every night before I log off is that I pick my 3 things that I need to get done the next day. 3 main things. So I have a to-do tomorrow list with only 3 things in it. Now, of course, there will be other things I might need to do as well. So I have another column that says to do. And there are items in there that need to get done at some point, but they're not time critical. And if when I get my 3 things done, I go over to the other column and look for items that I can get done and tick off the list as well. But by focusing the night before on what I want tomorrow to be about and picking 3 things, which is usually quite realistic, I'm setting myself up for the next step, which is one of my favorite things. So step number 2 is to start your day with quiet time. It's super helpful, especially if you have followed step 1 and planned your day out the night before, then you can afford to take some quiet time in the morning. Will this sometimes mean that you have to set your alarm a bit earlier than your partner or your family? Perhaps. But starting your day with quiet time and trying to stay away from your phone, at least for the first 5 or 10 minutes of your morning routine, can really, really help your productive and creative flow throughout the day. So what can this look like and how do I do this? Well, almost every morning, my partner and I will have coffee in bed together, and we do really try to not pick the phone up the first thing we do, but to have a quick chat about the day, how we're feeling, how we slept, what's going on with us, and allow that quiet time or that gentle start to the day with no technology and anything like that. Now, you can obviously extend this, and as someone who works for myself, I have constructed my days consciously so that my very first block in the morning, so from about 8 till 9, I will continue that quiet time or expand it a little bit to learning time. So typically between 8 and 9, I will go for a nice walk, maybe have another coffee. I might read a chapter in a book that I'm reading at the moment. But quite often on those walks, and my typical morning is a walk with a podcast in my ears of something that really inspires or educates me. One of my favorites at the moment to listen to is Brené Brown's podcast, Unlocking Us, which is available for free on many, many podcast platforms. So that is something that I do, and I think starting with quiet time has so many interesting side effects, and it took me a little while to realize that unless I carve out time for this, I'm not going to allow my body to wake up more slowly and have that productive flow later in the day. Now, if you don't like quiet time for an hour like I do, obviously you can condense it, but grab 5 minutes for yourself every morning if you can. Start it quietly, have your coffee, and just start your morning on your terms. So next up, and this applies to both work and social life and personal life, is to use a block schedule system. I learnt this from somebody else here on YouTube, but using a block schedule is incredibly powerful. Because in reality, how most people spend their day or plan their calendar is that there'll be dedicated times for meetings, etc. throughout your day. And you kind of then become at the mercy of hour by hour or even 30 minutes by 30 minutes as to what's going to happen that day. Instead of doing it that way, I have started to use the block schedule system. So my very first block in the morning, as I said, is quiet time between about 8 to 9. Then from 9 till about 11, I have my work block. And in that block, I will do things like coaching sessions, admin time, basically anything that relates to those 3 things that I had to do that day. I try to get 2, if not all 3 things in my day that had to get done in the morning block if I can. Then often I'll have a lunchtime block, and that can involve either running an errand or going out for a walk or something like that. And then I'll have another work block in the afternoon. Now you can split these blocks into however long time units work for you, but I find it really helpful to do this because then you can also have a really clear evening block that can be for social time or something else, just to make sure that your work life doesn't creep in too much into the other things that you want to do. So using a block schedule system is brilliant, and it can really, really help you, but also help other people in your life. If you are both working from home and the person knows that your work block is from X o'clock to Y o'clock, then they'll leave you alone and let you do your productive flow work. And then you can kind of reconvene after that block is over. It can also be really helpful if you've got kids. And my final tip that I live and swear by is to use theme days. Theme days are brilliant, and you probably do this already in some shape or form without knowing it. But a theme day is to box in certain activities on a particular day of the week. For example, I know a lot of you out there spend Saturday as you're cleaning the house, resetting for the weekday, going to get groceries. So that can be your theme day. And then a lot of other people use, for example, Sunday as their relaxing day when they do whatever they want and chill out because they did all the other stuff on the Saturday. But you can expand this even further. So for me, for example, almost every Tuesday is my grocery shopping day. So I go at lunchtime on a Tuesday. This is something I started to do in the lockdowns we had here in Australia. And because the supermarket is really quiet on a Tuesday lunchtime where I live. So that's something that works really well for me. Also, working for yourself, it's super helpful. So like I said, when I'm trying to stay motivated and get things done in my coaching business, one thing I do every single Monday is focus on admin and social media. So typically my morning block will be mainly focused around social media, networking, and putting together the content for the week. And my afternoon work block on a Monday is usually focused on admin. So just catching up on any administration I need to do in the business. Another thing that you can time block or rather have a theme day for is if you run a YouTube channel. So normally what I do is every single Wednesday I do filming because my partner is at work, and typically it's easier for me to film when he's not in the house and I can be loud and he doesn't have to be, extra quiet in the background. So having theme days for various things can be really helpful. Finally, a thing that I found exceptionally helpful is because I don't really love the finance paperwork that comes with having a business. And I know a lot of you out there find it really tedious with personal budgeting as well, and it can be challenging. So how do you do something that you are not very excited to do, but you know it needs to get done? You create a theme day and a block when it's going to happen. So for example, every fortnight on a Tuesday, I have a block specifically for finance admin in my business because I know it needs to get done. And once I sit down and do it, I don't mind it so much, but it's just the act of sitting down and doing it. So if you and your partner are trying to get your personal or household finances on track, maybe schedule in a finance date night every second Thursday or something like that, whatever works for you guys, so that you can have those conversations and make sure that you're actually getting the outcomes you want in life. And there you go. I hope you found this helpful. I think when it comes to productivity, it's great to tick things off lists. I'm a visual person. I love smashing through things and getting through my to-do list. But remember that your personal health and well-being is also super important. And that's why I think productive flow is a really helpful thing to aim for as you move through your to-do list and the many things that you need to do in the world around you. Let me know in the comments below what you do for productive flow or what your best productivity tips are to stay on track, get things done, and feel good in the process. Hope you have a wonderful week, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.